I'm in my room watching youth club videos. Today I'm learning about the Jal. They are teaching us about all of his fitras and all the sins the world is doing, like music, haram relationship, looking at the opposite gender, vape, games, movies, living prayers intentionally. So the lecture ends, and then I think to myself, man, this world is a sinful place. We do so many sins. How can I change it? Then a few months later, I just came back from academy. I changed up and then I sat down to journal. While journaling, I'm just writing down different random thoughts that came into my mind throughout the day, different things that happened throughout the day, and then this thought comes in my mind. I'm not doing a single sin that I'm aware of. Okay, so firstly, if you are the person who is struggling a lot with living sins, it is because you are trying to leave all of them like this. And I know some people can leave all of the sins like this, and some sins are supposed to be left just like this with the snap of the finger. Like, for example, if someone is in a haram relationship and then he finds out that being in a haram relationship is, well, haram, well, and then he goes and makes the decision to not be in that thing anymore and to leave all of that stuff forever. Well, he just changed that like this. He left that sin like this. But what I have found that you can only do this stuff for like the major sins. Minor sins are really hard to leave like this. And so we go another way, which is progressive deloading. Meaning, let's say that you play 2 hours of video games every single day. And so when you start to do progressive deloading, maybe the next day you play 1 hour 50 minutes. Then the next day you play 1 hour 40 minutes. Then the next day you play maybe 1 hour 25 minutes. And then the next day you mess up and you play 1 hour 45 minutes again. And then the next day you are mad at yourself that why did I mess up? Why did I go over my limit? And so you play just 1 hour of video games because you are mad at yourself and you have that masculine energy rising in yourself. And then you do this for a month. You slowly but surely decrease the amount of time you spend doing that thing, doing that sin, doing that bad habit. And then in about a month, you will no longer be doing that thing. And another benefit of doing progressive deloading is that while you are doing progressive deloading, the love of that thing will also start to go out of your heart. But humans don't work like that. Like, you can't just take a human being and tell him to do a particular good thing and just tell him that this thing is good for you and so do it. And then he will start doing that thing. And neither can you make a human being leave a particular thing by just telling him that, bro, this thing is not good for you, so you must leave that thing. No, like yes, faith is something different, but most of us don't have that level of faith. Faith is when you just hear and you obey. Samyana wa ata'ana. But if we have low faith, we learn, we gain knowledge. So what was I doing at the start of the video? I was learning. And so learn about the good things you are living. Good things like prayers, Quran with translation, going out to the mosque, doing all of these good habits like going to the gym and all of these things. Learn about the good things that you are living and also learn about the bad things that you are doing, like video games, movies, vape, music, being in a haram relationship. Learn about the effects of these bad things, because the only reason they are bad and the only reason they are sins is because they are not good for you. And so how do we learn? Well, in my eyes, there are only two best ways to learn. The first one is to go and read books. Like, for example, if you are interested in a particular topic, you go and you search online on that topic. Like, for example, let's say that you are interested on the effects of music on your brain. So you go and you search on Google, effects of music, book on effects of music on your brain. And I'm pretty sure a random book will show up. And then you start reading that book. Maybe you download a PDF. Maybe you buy a like physical copy. Whatever you do, the best way is to learn through books. Just go and start reading books on the topic you are interested in. And then the second best way to learn is through educational content like this, and especially the full length videos, which I like to call the FLV, meaning which are 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour long guides, bro. Like, if you go and watch 4 hours of content of the bad effects of music on your brain, I'm pretty sure after those 4 hours, you would not want to listen to music anymore. And so similarly, if you go and watch 4 hours of content on the bad effects of games, you wouldn't really want to play video games anymore. And then one piece of knowledge which helped me with all of my sins was the sentence, "no one is watching," is all lie. It is completely and utterly a lie, because who is your Lord? Allah. And Allah is always watching. And so whenever you say that no one is watching, and whenever you are alone and you feel comfortable doing that thing, doing that sin, remember that you are not alone, bro. Firstly, there are these two angels who are writing, and then there is him as well. Don't make Allah the least significant of all the watchers. Like, you fear a child and you don't do that particular sin in front of a child, but you don't fear Allah and you do that sin like it is not even a sin in front of Allah. So have some respect, have some honor, have some zest, have some shame, bro. And so how do we increase the level of this thought, like the awareness that Allah is always watching me? How do we increase that? Well, by meditation. And this is the Muslim type of meditation, which I will call the Muslim type of meditation, in which you sit down and you set a timer for 5 minutes or 7 minutes, like just normal meditation. But then instead of focusing on your breath, when you lose your focus, you focus on Allah, that Allah is watching me. You focus on the thought that Allah is watching me. And so let's say that you just sit down, you close your eyes, and then you set a timer. Like before that, you set a timer of 5 minutes to meditate, and then you close your eyes and you're just sitting there. And then you bring your focus to the thought that Allah is watching me. And then you lose your focus, you just go into random thoughts. And then whenever you realize that I have just lost my focus, you bring your focus back to the thought that Allah is watching me, not to your breath. This is the Muslim type of meditation. This will increase your focus, and this will increase your awareness that Allah is always watching me. And this will help you with your sins, and this will also help you to improve your focus a lot. This is the combination of both types of meditation. And then let's say that you start doing all of the above things, but to be honest, your mind will still want to do something of that type. Like for example, if while going to your campus, you used to listen to music, it's going to be really hard for you to just not listen to anything and just sit there and drive as you are going to a campus. No, because it is already a habit, your mind will be asking for that. Like, yes, you can sit in silence. I do sit in silence. I don't listen to anything while going to campus. But if you want to, why not find an alternative? Why not listen to nasheeds? And so you switch those bad habits with an alternative. You switch those sins with something that is not sinful. And so you replace music with nasheeds, video games with gym, movies with life series of the companions and the Prophet, peace be upon him, himself, and then a haram relationship with brothers who are ready to die for you. But then, to be honest, not all sins are like this. Like, you cannot find an alternative for every single thing. Like for example, vaping. What are you going to say? Like, what are you going to find an alternative of that? You're going to do something which is a little bit less harmful, but because it is still harmful, and so it is still a sin. Like, some sins you just have to leave. Like, you cannot find an alternative for every single thing. And so for the sins you can find an alternative, go for the alternative. But for the sins you cannot find an alternative, just stop doing that thing totally. And then finally, know that repeating a small sin again and again does not leave it as a small sin. It makes it a big sin. It makes it a kabira sin. Like, if you do a sagira sin again and again and again, like a bazillion times, it is no longer a sagira sin. Now it is a kabira sin. And so don't think to yourself that, okay, it is just a small sin. All of those people are doing all those major sins. I'm just doing this small sin. Bro, if you are repeating that sin every single day, it is no longer a small sin. And so if you are struggling a lot with living sins and you really want to do something about these sins, why not join a brotherhood who is on self-improvement and who are all Muslims? The link is in the description. Just click the first link. It's a free community, bro. And so do good, and I'll see you in Jannah.